Hello guys, my name is Reikai, and welcome back. Oh, we got some more interesting things to talk about today. More patterns of behavior of professional racism that constantly goes around, and it's continuing to get worse and worse every single day. Because what you're seeing is you're allowing a bunch of people on every side of the spectrum to go around on social media and say a bunch of hateful things about another group of people that they disagree with, and nothing is fucking done about it. Go on Twitter, it's all white people deserve to be killed and blah 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 blah. You go on Reddit, it's black people deserve to be killed, blah 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 blah. You go on TikTok, it's just there's so much of this going around nowadays. And I'm just here to point out the continuous patterns of behavior. That's all. I know people are gonna rush to the comments and be like, oh, boo-hoo, white boy crying about black people beating on white people, yada yada yada. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. And then I'll also point it out when white people beat on black people, when East Indian people beat on other people, when other people beat on... I'm gonna point out all the bad behavior. I don't give a fuck what color your skin is. But what I'm seeing right now is the current trend. The current popular thing to do is to weaponize racism and violence against white people. Because guess what happened? You allowed people to go on social media for a decade. People have been raising their kids to believe this, that you can't be hateful or racist to white people because they fucking deserve it. Or whatever reason they come up with. And you get a bunch of other chronically online fucking retards who constantly agree with this sentiment. Well, now you're starting to piss people off and they're becoming more vocal about it. Call me a racist Nazi if you want to. I'll probably just agree with you. At this point, the words don't mean shit. Don't go around assaulting people because you don't like the color of their skin or what happened 100 years ago. Society is just never gonna move the fuck on, and I guess we're just gonna fucking kill each other. But anyways, that was my little rant on that. And the pattern I want to point out is when a bunch of little girls got stabbed to death in a dance studio, 3 of them actually died, people were cheering and saying shit, oh hey, a bunch of future fascists are now dead. Those are little girls that weren't even old enough to go to school yet. They're dead. You're cheering for the death of children who haven't even learned to read yet. They don't even understand why people hate them so much. You are fucked in the fucking head. You are a fucking loser, schizo piece of human trash if you, even for a minute, think that it is okay to cheer for the death of children of any skin color. You are a piece of garbage, and I hope you get what you fucking deserve. Anyway, and then the next one was the teenage girls who got killed in that mudslide or flood or whichever, and you had a bunch of very outspoken, very popular people going around social media saying the same thing. Oh yay, future fascists are dead, white people are dying, and everyone's fucking cheering. And you had that one chick who was going around threatening to, shoot people while she has a criminal record. So why the fuck do you have guns? Why is it okay for people like this to exist in society? You are antisocial, you are violent, you are twisted in the head. Why you're not in jail is beyond me. But anyways, now, again, another pattern of behavior. We're going to watch a news story that came out I think a couple days ago. When did this come out? Not even a day ago. And you already see people going to fucking TikTok, going to Twitter, going all over social media, cheering for the people who did this to these people, because the people that were getting assaulted, can you guess what color their skin was? Yeah. We've essentially racism has switched hands, and now it's okay to go all over social media and chant for the deaths and assaults of an entire group of people. Well, what you're seeing, in my opinion, is the formation of the Black KKK. Yep, that's right, I fucking said it. You have a large group of people of a different skin color going around doing violent things to another group of people, you're a bunch of racists. That's it. Now we're going to watch the video.
What you do with the people standing around watching. But there are at least 5 suspects.
Well, of course they're standing around watching. It's entertaining. Because the socially acceptable thing right now is that white people deserve everything they're getting. So of course they're going to watch around, they're going to record, and they're going to cheer as these people get gang beaten in the streets.
Charged in connection with the violent Cincinnati brawl that left 2 people seriously injured on Saturday night. The Trump administration is suggesting this should be treated as a hate crime investigation. And while it remains unclear what led to the...
Now, is it actually a hate crime? I don't know. It seems like, because I've already seen this story, it seems like it was a drunken brawl in the streets. Now, do I think the people who assaulted them should go to jail? Fucking damn right. You don't go around gang beating on people and think you can get away with it. Well, you need 5 people to beat someone up because they said something to you when you guys were all drinking? Get the fuck out of here. And you know that people they're already chanting, get those fucking whiteys. I've already seen several TikTok videos of black people going to social media saying that these people deserved to be beat in the street like this. It's fucking disgusting, man. What a ridiculous thing to cheer for the assault and death of other people just because you disagree with what happened in the past. Well, you know, if you're going to drag up the past, you know what's going to happen? The past is going to come back. Keep it up.
Attack exactly. It is very clear about how violent it got. One of the most disturbing parts of the story is...
And I know this one's going to get me in a lot of trouble, but...
Well, clearly not just watching, because we have so much video of it. They were on their phones. One person called 911. Now, here's a warning. Some of what you'll see obviously is disturbing, maybe even graphic. So now let's go to Brian Yenes, who's in the studio to take us through all of this. Brian, this video went viral, and parts of it are really hard to watch.
Yeah, absolutely very difficult to watch, Harris. The charges against the 5 suspects are sealed, and we don't even know yet how many, if any, have been arrested. Cincinnati's police chief says we can anticipate, though, more charges against more people. Now, look, the video shows a white man being punched and kicked by a group of black people in downtown Cincinnati on Saturday.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. You've allowed people to go around pushing the narrative that white man bad. You allow people to create that much animosity, well, they're going to go out and they're going to act on it. It's not surprising, it's human behavior. People have allowed people to have these echo chambers for over 10 years now, where they have been able to build up so much animosity, so much hatred, so much anger, that now it's leaving the echo chambers and going out into society. You know what this sounds like? What happened in the 50s? It's just now it's changing hands.
At 3 a.m. The police have not said how or why this started. The police chief says alcohol played a significant role.
Yeah, they're probably just a bunch of drunk idiots. And then when you get a bunch of alcohol and a bunch of hate fueled into one area, this is what happens. Yeah. It might not even have started out as racial, but it definitely turned into it after a little bit. Maybe this guy said something to a black guy, and who knows? Maybe that's not even true. It could even just be these guys just didn't like him and beat him up. There's 100 different ways this could go. I know everybody likes to play competitive racism these days, so let's wait for the actual evidence to come out and then talk about it, like I did at the beginning of the video where I was pointing out real evidence and real shit that people are doing. But yeah, you see a bunch of people ganging up on another person and their skin colors are different. This is what people are gonna jump to.
And they've characterized it as a sudden dispute following a verbal altercation. Now, in the brawl, a woman appearing to try to protect the man
one's really
is
bad.
sucker punched by another man.
Yeah, what a tough guy. Beats the fuck out of a woman. So you need 5 grown men and a bunch of psycho black women who are probably just there to throw punches. they probably don't even know why the fight's happening. They're just there because it's like, ooh, someone's getting beat up. Let's throw some fucking hands. And then this guy right here has to sucker punch the woman for trying to try from breaking it up. Wow. Yeah, you want to say racism isn't alive and well in society? Just look at this. There's this guy. You wouldn't do this to somebody if you hadn't already dehumanized them in your mind. No, you wouldn't go and sucker punch a woman right in the fucking head. Knock her out. She's probably got brain damage now because of the way her head hit the fucking ground. And then go around cheering about this. Yeah. You do this when you think the other person isn't a human being in your mind. You have dehumanized white people in your mind to a point where you're happy when they suffer. You want to create more racism? Keep doing this. Yeah, you want to make white people actually racist again? This is how you do it.
Appearing to be knocked unconscious. Cincinnati's police chief says 100 people watched or were involved, yet only one person called 911.
Thank you for censoring that, by the way. And then, like, that fucking one... Look at this. Hold up. Go back.
Were involved, yet
you
only
get this chick here.
One person called...
Oh, I think that's probably her friend. Okay, I thought one of these black chicks were going to drag this unconscious woman away. It's just like, holy fuck, man. This is savage behavior.
911.
I think what they should be angry about is...
Oh, and by the way, the reason people probably didn't call 911 is, like I said before, is because it's socially acceptable to do this. And if they did probably call 911, or were seen on their phone, they were probably worried that these people would have turned their violent behavior onto them. It's not a mystery why people didn't call the cops. One, it's because it's socially acceptable and people were probably laughing at the suffering of these two people that are probably in a horrible condition right now. Two, people were probably afraid that the violent mob of people that were doing this would have turned on to them for calling the police. It's really not hard to figure out.
Is nobody called the police. That is unacceptable. To not call the police.
But it's also understandable.
Traffic was horrendous. People saw this. They were fighting in front of traffic. Why didn't somebody call us?
Because it's funny when a bunch of white people get their ass kicked, obviously.
Vice President J.D. Vance spoke about this yesterday while in Ohio. Listen.
What I saw is a mob of lawless thugs beating up on an innocent person, and it's disgusting. And I hope every single one of those people who engage in violence is prosecuted to the full extent.
Yeah, and you know what people are going to go on social media and say is that these two white people were probably bullying this mob of black people. Okay. Yeah, how did that work out for Carmelo Anthony, by the way?
When you have a grown man who sucker punches a middle-aged woman, that person ought to go to jail for a very long time.
Yeah. Fucking duh. You go around and you assault people and sucker punch them, you should go to jail. Doesn't matter what color your skin is. You want to walk around society doing anti-violent social behavior, I want your ass in jail. I don't want you fucking in the same society as me. What's gonna happen when you decide you don't like me next and I get my ass kicked just because you're a fucking psychopath? Get the fuck out of here. I don't care who you are. You can't go around doing this shit. And I'm sick and tired of it being socially acceptable to do this to a certain group of people just because a bunch of fucking schizos on Twitter and Reddit and TikTok have deemed it so. Well, what's gonna happen when that narrative changes and we're doing the same thing back to you? You create a weapon, it's only a matter of time when that weapon is turned on you.
The Trump administration's...
Oh, and we know what people are going to do when that weapon's turned on them. They're going to play victim.
Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, Harmeet Dillon, suggested hate crime charges could be filed, quote, our federal hate crime laws apply to all Americans.
Good. Good. Because you know, if the roles were switched, this would be an international issue. These people would be immediately branded racists and hate crime charges would be placed. If the same scenario is different on the other way around, that's the problem. There's your problem with society. If it's okay for one group of people to do it to another, and it's not okay for that group of people to do it back, that's a double standard. You can't go around assaulting anybody. Let's be fucking clear about this.
We at Civil Rights
needs
will
to
monitor
understand this,
closely
by
how
the way.
local authorities handle this attack. Now, Harris, Cincinnati police chief, warned yesterday the social media video does not depict the entire incident. One video, for instance, we've seen shows other...
Yeah, and every time you see stuff like this, there's always context missing. Every time. Who knows? Maybe this couple of people said some racist shit to these people. Okay? You have people saying racist shit to us every single day. Should we start punching you in the fucking head? No.
Other people that perhaps were being beaten down as well, not just the one man. And I will also point out that there has been criticism from Republican Senator Bernie Moreno against the mayor, Pureval, of Cincinnati for waiting, what he says, 2 days to release a statement. And he says that he had not contacted any of the victims as of yesterday when that statement came out.
Well, look, it doesn't surprise me that we're going to see the proceeds of more video in all of this. We should see a lot. People were standing around with their cell phones taking pictures and videos instead of calling for help. I understood.
Well, yeah, and that's basically the social norm nowadays, is when some shit's going down, everyone's got to record it, because they got to get that fucking internet clout, instead of calling the fucking police. You know you can call the police and record at the same time, right? You do realize you could put the police on speaker while recording your video, right?
It took 6 minutes for anybody to get there, and there was no ambulance in the area. I mean, that woman on the ground, that's a lot. Brian, thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Emily, I know that...
And I wouldn't be surprised if we hear next week that woman has brain damage now and her life is ruined. She hit the ground like a ton of bricks, man. When you're at a certain age, which that woman, it's hard to tell, but she was probably at least in her late 20s, maybe mid-30s, you take a double hit to the fucking brain like that, where you get sucker punched and then your head hits the ground, that causes a lot of damage when you're older.
They will bring in more evidence in all of this. But as you look at this is a crime scene.
Yes. First of all, I would never use the word.
And I'm hoping that, like, I'll try to collect all the TikTok videos and all the other, and the posts on Twitter where people are cheering for this, and see if that can get collected into one spot, and I can just, again, here we go. White people get hurt, black people cheer. How many times does this have to happen before something is done about it? Because if society doesn't, or if the police or the government don't do something about it, what's going to happen is you're going to get a group of white people who are going to start doing something about it. And then here we go, we got a race war. You can't have it to be okay to go around saying hate speech to one group of people and then act like a victim when that group of people stands up to you.
Words like fight or brawl. I would use words like attack, assault. I would charge this, first of all, with attempted murder, because we've seen what one-punch murders can be. This was horrifying. This deserves no place in society. Ohio State has complicit laws, so if you take part in a group beating, then everyone is responsible and on the hook for those that you see on those
put 'em all in jail.
cameras
Get 'em outta
recording
here.
this. So I certainly would charge everyone with the attempted murder. I would charge them with felonious assault. I would charge with them everything under the book. And Harmeet Dillon is absolutely right that if the state doesn't get it right, and I'm not holding my breath, then step in with hate charges at the federal level.
Yeah, let's be real. With the way society is right now, nothing's going to happen to these people. Nothing's going to happen. It's all going to get swept under the rug, and it's going to be another didn't do nothing situation.
Was nauseating to watch. And the amount of tiptoeing around that we have seen from anyone but the vice president and representatives of the federal authorities is so disheartening to boot. So you're telling me it was a fight when you see 100 people, 100 black people.
Yeah, that's not a fight. The guy's on the ground, they're beating him when he's on the ground. That's not a fight. Real men, when you get into a fight, when the guy's down, that's it, the fight's over. Only beta little bitches beat people when they're already down. That's no longer a fight. That's just an attack. You're out to kill that person at this point. This is no longer an altercation. This is murder.
Beating up 2 white people, and you're not. What if this was 100 white people beating up 2 Asian people? I think it would be pretty clear. There is no place for this in our civilized society, and the fact that Cincinnati downtown in that area was bare and devoid of law enforcement, that is on the shoulders of that police chief Terry, and there is so much more accountability to be had. That woman was a single mother who was just attending a birthday party. Now she's fighting for her life to the cheers of those 100+ people, and now we're gonna have to pay for.
Oh, it's not just 100+ people cheering anymore. There are thousands of videos already on social media of black people cheering for this. They are cackling like a bunch of Karens at the suffering of this woman. They find this absolutely fucking hilarious.
For their 3 square meals a day, by the way, in prison going on. That's what they're going to get. They're going to enjoy the royal treatment in prison. So no matter how you look at this, there's going to be zero accountability for those monsters.
Well, unless they get a soft on crime policy deal. I mean, that's what where is the justice? Can it be meted out the way Emily said? And if the feds get involved, I totally get that. Here's.
Yeah, sickening on so many levels. We don't know the whole story. But what we do know is the police chief went out, and I saw an extraordinary press coverage she gave where she tried to be blaming social media. That was the real problem. The problem wasn't this violent.
Yeah, and I said it at the beginning of the video. A majority of this problem does come from social media, allowing people to openly post hateful, racial things all over the internet all the time, just because they agree with the political agenda of the current popular opinions right now. This is what happens. They feel vindicated to go out and beat people because it's popular to hate white people. Obviously. This is what happened in the 50s. And I don't blame any people who stood up for themselves in the 1950s either. Fuck people who do things violent to another group of people for racial things. I don't care if it's white on black, black on white, Asian on East Indian. I don't give a fuck. If your entire reason for doing violent things to another person is because of the color of their skin, I want you out of here. Put them all in the boxes.
Brawl in which so many people rounded on this guy. I don't really care how it started. Whatever it started, it ended with a horrific act of mob violence. Then you have a woman punched unconscious, could have died, like you said. But the real problem is social media, apparently, amplifying the wrong...
It's not just apparently. Go on social media. Look for videos of black people saying horrific things about white people and wonder why they're feeling vindicated to go out and do it. It's been all over social media for decades. You can't be racist to white people, fuck white people, kill white people, do this, do that. It's everywhere. And we've been kind of just, and for the longest time, if you spoke out against it, you would be socially ostracized and castrated and called a racist Nazi for standing up for yourself to a group of people that want you dead. Wow, it's how is anybody surprised by the outcome that this is happening?
Narrative about this. No, we know what we saw. And whatever built up to the moment, we then saw a horrific mass number of people rounding on one guy.
And until this problem on social media stops, it's only going to get worse. And what you're going to see is white people doing the same thing back. I guarantee it. You have to stop the hate at its core. You need to put these people in jail. The people who are posting videos about this, you got to put them in jail. You need to make an example out of this before it turns into an actual an even bigger problem. Because people are only going to be your personal punching bag for so long until they actually get up and do something about it.
And a woman not cold. And we also saw so many phones out. You know, what has happened to our society? We have this in the UK as well.
Because it gets you clicks on Twitter and TikTok when white man gets beat, and it's funny. There's a reward structure for this. There is an actual reward structure on social media for being a racist. That's why it happens.
The first thought of people when they see a woman knocked unconscious, who may be dead, is to take a phone out and record it on their phone and then post it on their social media for likes. That is as sickening as almost any other part of this.
Yeah.
None of them apart from one person.
There's a big reward structure for this type of behavior and no accountability. That's why it's happening.
Call for help. One person with a woman who might be dead on the ground.
Well, and it's still not clear yet, Cheryl, if the one person was in the
And you know what people are going to say if this woman dies? Good job, guys, we killed another fascist. Oh yeah, good job, you sucker punched a woman, a single mother who was out celebrating a birthday party with her friends. Yeah, good job, you killed a fascist. Jesus Christ, these people are fucking retarded.
bank of cars that was being pushed back, the traffic that couldn't come through because this mob was blocking the way for those cars. So
I would have just hit the gas.
inside those vehicles who were also witnessing this.
Yeah, and did nothing except film, to your point. You know, and that police chief coming out and saying this is social media journalism, and she was pointing her finger at the reporters in the room, I thought was so disrespectful. And by the way, this police chief, it was just recently sued this year by 4 lieutenants in her own department for discrimination. There are 4 white lieutenants that are all suing her because they say that she has done nothing but promote minorities and women ahead of them, and they're actually taking her to court.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, you know, the humanity aspect, obviously, only one person in 100 called the police.
Discrimination's only okay if you're a part of a certain ethnic group now. Yeah, I can see why people are getting mad about that. I thought we were trying to stop discrimination. Nope, instead, what's happened is the whip has just changed hands.
What does that tell you about humanity today? But beyond that, there's been a lot of frustration saying, online at least, of saying that if the races were reversed, the coverage that this would get, the immediacy of the coverage.
It would be an international issue. And people would be chanting racism all over the world. And yep, again, if something is bad against one group of people, but not against another, that's a problem.
Coverage that it would get, it would be enormous. And there's statistics to back that up. The Washington Free.
I think it's funny that people seem to think we live in a civilized society. We really don't. Human beings are just a bunch of savage animals, and they follow a groupthink mentality, and that's all they do. We're just a bunch of stupid fucking monkeys that just jump on whatever train is popular at the time. In the 50s, it was black people are bad. In 2025, it's white people are bad. Wow. What a civilized society we live in, right?
Beacon did an examination both pre-George Floyd and post-George Floyd, and looked at 1,100 articles from 6 major publications and found that post-George Floyd, the media was much more likely at a much significant amount to report on white offenders than they were on black offenders and naming the race. And so I do think there's documented evidence to prove that a lot of those dynamics have changed post George Floyd. But yeah, it's to see what we saw. Does it even matter the how and why of how it started?
I don't even know why we bring up the George Floyd thing anymore. It's ridiculous.
Well, it does if we want to keep it from happening again, because Cincinnati seems a bit out of control. And to Emily's point, there were no cops around that could stop it right away, and then there were no emergency services.
Well, how the fuck are the cops gonna get through when you got 100 people in the street and no cars can get through? Wait, the cops gonna fucking ride their bikes over here? What are they gonna do on their bikes? Put the criminals in the baby seat of the bicycle? Of course police couldn't get in. Look, there's a bunch of cars that are in the way.
6 minutes. I mean, that woman was out. That's a lot.
Where are social police officers? In other words, the public, who you could rely on in the good old days.
Well, you can't, because the public is just a bunch of stupid, brain-dead monkeys. And I say that about every ethnic group. Don't think I'm just saying that because black people. White people are fucking stupid, brain-dead monkeys, too. And it's all groupthink mentality. One person could have tried to call the cops and you would have had 100 people beating on them. We haven't changed since the medieval times. We just have fancier toys now. Our brains have not evolved at all. And I don't think our brains ever will. Human beings will always be stupid, savage, violent sheeps who just follow the current narrative.
Is to see a scene like that and rush to that woman's help.
right thing.
What's happened to social police work?
Daniel Penny. Yeah, Daniel Penny.
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
and then
get
you find
penalized for wanting to
yourself in a
help.
criminal
People are-
court facing murder charges.
Or even what they did at the Ferguson effect for police officers. I mean, police officers have even been fearful to do their jobs post Ferguson. Rahm Emanuel said that. Democrat Rahm Emanuel.
But this was
former mayor of
this was
Chicago.
gleeful, wasn't it? This was
Yes.
gleeful.
It's basically modern day burn the witch. And the witch in today's society is white people. Give it another 10 or 20 years, it'll be another group of people. The shit never changes, man.
Yeah, it was
Recording.
gross.
We're enjoying this. Look at this.
Correct.
Give me
Yeah.
a like.
The worst of us.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany.
Well, there it is. The thing I predicted several years ago is coming true. Wow. If only anybody could have seen this coming. You allow people to have echo chambers and no accountability, and they can say all kinds of hateful, violent things about another group of people. Now people are going out into public and doing violent things to that group of people. If only anybody could have predicted this. But anyways, let me know what you think down below. This is just going to keep happening, and it's going to get worse until these people are held accountable. And to the people that are chanting on social media, I hope you get yours. But anyways, my name is Reika, and I'll catch you in the next one.